Gamers of Reddit. What started your love for gaming? My dad started it. He used to play games on the computer and would let me sit on his lap while he played. I loved watching him, and he showed me how to use the controls so I could start playing myself. He had a computer for me across the table from his, and we used to play together. When I got better, we used to go to LAN stores and enter competitions together in Unreal Tournament, and a few times we even won. He was patient with me, and anything I failed at doing right in a game he taught me to laugh at instead of getting frustrated and angry. Some of my best memories is playing alongside him, or watching him play. I still love that, and so does he. My dad is also the origin for my love of games. I remember watching him play the original Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale, Neverwinter Nights, all the old isometric D&D games. I would watch him play those for hours. Mostly because when he was playing, he always had a paladin. And he named the paladin after me in all his playthroughs. When my sister was born, he named the cleric after her. Now with a daughter of my own, I'm following his example, so she can be the hero in my games too. It was 1978. I was in the skating rink. I was 8 years old and there were some video games off to the side. I had never seen anything like it before. I had seen pinball machines mostly on TV, but coin-operated video games were another matter. There was this Space Invaders machine, and it was calling me and calling me. I finally went over to investigate, and I found it to enjoy the cornucopia of illuminated invaders shooting down at your one-man base station, while you try to pick them all off only cost the price of $0.25. I almost didn't do any skating the whole time I was at the rink. I was so enthralled. I had already seen Pong, but I had a Pong console at home. This was something altogether different. My dad actually, it was back in 2005, when MMORPGs were as popular as battle royales nowadays. Back then, me, my brother, and father used to play Flafalet, a party of 3 ready to enter, and raid any dungeon, or grind together. I think we played it for around 4 years. Dad quit on 2009 with his maximum character, being LVL 118. The most I did was LVL 116 on my Elementor. I sometimes wish for these kind of games to come back. Nowadays, I play LOL along my 2 brothers. Dad no longer play with us, and that's for a really good reason. My father bought me the SNES and the original Gamma Boy on the same day back in 1990 along with a few games, but most notably Super Mario World and Super Mario Land 5 minutes, and I was hooked. Now it's been 30 years and I've owned almost every platform you can imagine since then, though I've gotten rid of most of them over the years, and I'm still going strong with no sign of ever stopping. Not sure, I've always loved gaming. Probably when my mom played Pokemon Silver with me looking on before I could even read, from even before I could remember. Actually, I think it even helped me learn to read. Had an old Sega system, not sure what the model was, 1999 to 2000, with a game collection with a beat 'em up, Tetris, Sonic, and other games, when I was 2 or 3, same time as the Pokemon stuff, and a little after. I guess my love of gaming was cemented when we upgraded to an N64 with Mario 64, Mario Kart, and Smash. 2 moments for me. I was 5 years old and all the cool kids at kindergarten had Pokemon Yellow/Blue/Red on Gamma Boy Color. I knew I had to get one as well. Fast forward to when I was 8 or 9, I'm at a family friend's place and this cutie girl 2 years older than me showed me RuneScape on Windows XP. I was lost on what to do/click, so she put her hand on my hand that was on the mouse and did some sandwich clicking for me. After that I was hooked for life. As a little kid, I'd sit on the floor of our tiny living room with my mom, one or both aunts, and my grandma, and we'd all play an RPG together. We would go to Blockbuster for a new one when the last one was beat. We'd never beat it in the 5 rental days, so we'd just keep it and play the late fees, so we wouldn't lose a save if they forced us to turn it in instead of let us rent it again. We played Final Fantasy 3/6, 4, Lufia 2, Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, Breath of Fire 2, one of the most amazing RPGs ever, and we also loved Zelda, A Link to the Past. When we took a break, my grandma would take over and just run around on the world map, grinding for hours for us. We were always so opus. I miss my grandma so much. I miss those days so much. My family was pretty poor when I was a kid. My mom would work nights and sleep all day and my dad would work days and sleep all night, so they didn't have to pay for babysitters. I never got to see my dad much. On weekends, my dad would play video games on the PlayStation. The only ones I really remember are Kingdom Hearts and Tomb Raider. Every Saturday, I'd wake up super early and just sit next to him and watch him play. I used to get super excited when he played Kingdom Hearts, cause, yeah I know, there were a bunch of princesses and I loved Disney. He started to play that one more often, and if he was playing Tomb Raider, he'd switch it over to Kingdom Hearts when I'd come waddling down the stairs. Watching him play video games was one of the only times I got to hang out with him exclusively. They're some of my favorite memories of him. He also helped me build my first gaming PC and taught me how to upgrade and put it together. He's a pretty great dude. Honestly, back when I started gaming it was how my parents and I spent time together. They were both going through a residency and working like 12 to 15 hour days, 6 days a week. So when they got home from work the hour or two they spent watching / playing the Northeasts with me was one of the best times of the day. The second thing is, after I destroyed my knee as a teenager I lost a lot of motivation to get out and about since it hurt so much just to walk, and finding RPGs, especially the Final Fantasy and Breath of Fire series, helped me through a really dark time. So I had one of those Gamma Boy SDs as a kid, and I was glued to it. But my parents never believed in spending money on new game consoles growing up, so the Gamma Boy was the only experience I really had with gaming. Skip ahead 7 years and I haven't touched my Gamma Boy in forever, or any video game for that matter. Meet my boyfriend, now husband, who is pretty big into gaming, and introduces me to Hearthstone. I'm hooked. Can't stop, won't stop. Love it. Then Overwatch comes out and I switched from one obsession to the next. It's still my favorite, but I game on all different consoles now. Xbox / Nintendo Switch / my PC / 3DS. My family and old friends are shocked when they see me get into it. I was never a gamer until I turned about 20. I had an Atari when I was too young to know what games really were. I can still remember the satisfying feeling of putting the cartridge in, turning it on, and pressing random buttons till I died. I'm not that old. Northeasts was already out, my parents were just broke. I did eventually get in Northeasts, though. And what officially started me down that road was watching my brother play Dragon Warrior and Zelda 2 at night, giving him tips and reminding him of things. Watching him play RPGs turned into me playing them, with Chrono Trigger making me love the genre eternally. The SNES and Zelda. My interest in gaming was already sparked in 1990 when I was 4 years old. I watched my cousin playing a game on his computer, and I was fascinated that he could roam a city, talk to all these funny looking people, and I was fascinated by the concept that he is in a completely different world. Many years later I would realize that my cousin played the first Monkey Island game. 1 year later I got a Gamma Boy from his sister, another year later his old Commodore 64, but it still was just an interest so far. Until a friend across the street got the Super Nintendo and The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. She was in awe of that game and that wasn't an exaggerated impression on her part to make me jealous. When I got to play it, I could see why. This game was my first true love, and I had to get a SNES and Zelda as well, and I got it as soon as my birthday came. I played the shit out of it for years, and I still fire it up from time to time. Still have the console and original cartridge, although I had to replace the battery. Other RPGs like Secret of Mana, Secret of Evermore, Lufia furthered my love for gaming, but Zelda, Alt-P was the one that truly started it all. The challenge of it, and the ease of seeing rapid improvements. You can start off absolutely terrible and know nothing about the game, but can also quickly overcome the challenges and see visible change. This is also what frustrates me about some modern games, like Call of Duty. You have matchmaking, so you pair with people near your skill, but are never given an indicator of your skill, so you can't easily tell if you improved or not. The glory. The first actual game I played was fucking Lego Racers. Each map you best had like the boss of that map. Once you got first place there'd be a little cutscene where they had a tantrum and stomped and handed over the keys to their race car, and you got to unlock the pieces in their car to customize yours. The last map though was the hardest. It was this clean futuristic tunnel map, and the boss was this cool racer dude with a helmet and everything, and a super slick car. He was the final boss. All the tracks in this game, all the victory scenes, they have a special place in my mind, like embers that refuse to go out, no matter how dumb they get. But that last scene, after I finally beat the future racer dude, stuck with me forever. I don't remember the whole thing, but it was longer and different from the rest. At the end, the racer dude walks up to me, takes off his helmet, and with a cool smile shakes my hand, nods, and walks off into the goddamn sunset. Nobody is born cool, except for that guy. And no matter how much glory and victory I chase through Mario Kart, The Condit, Halo, Call of Duty, Doom, League of Legends, nothing tops the way I felt when I finally met that future racer dude.